Humans communicate by telling stories. That's why one of the most important parts of the English language, and indeed any language, is how to say things in past tense. You tell things that have already happened. Think about it. Most of the things that you tell a person are in past tense. If you're telling someone to do something right now, that's present tense. But if you're telling them about any other thing, the chances are very high that you'll be speaking in past tense. How cool is that? I think it's very interesting that humans' entire communication system is based off of telling a version of a thing that happened to another person. Let's be honest, you absolutely cannot recall with 100% certainty how a thing happened. You can only recall your version of it. And every time that you recall that thing, it changes a little bit in the way that you recall it. MIT scientists working with artificial intelligence were working on a study that proposed that an artificial intelligence would learn differently based on the content to which it was exposed. This seems like a no-brainer, but then AIs don't have brains just yet. They exposed their burgeoning AI to the popular link-sharing site Reddit, where they had it read captions of images where people were being killed. Then they showed it some inkblot images and had it caption them. Unsurprisingly, the psychopath robot named Norman captioned all of the images with the same kind of disturbing captions it had already been reading. Garbage in, garbage out. Especially when the garbage in is what it's basing its entire lexicon on. Duh. A criminology student at Bournemouth University called KFC to deliver some food she didn't actually want, just so that she could have a delivery driver help get rid of a gigantic spider in her house. She was so afraid of spiders that she could not leave her house because it was close to the front door. Unfortunately, while the food she got was delicious, the driver she got was also scared of spiders. He eventually ended up being convinced to help her, and together they flushed the horrifying beast down the toilet. Teamwork. You'd think that she would offer to share her food with the driver after that. This looks like the beginning of a beautiful, spider-free friendship. A doctor in China removed, doesn't this sound like one of the ones that we've already done? Removed a foot-long eggplant from a man's anal cavity recently. Okay, maybe not exactly the same. The man was experiencing uncomfortable constipation and figured that the eggplant would help to expand his colon to relieve the pressure. Unfortunately, any rational person would put together that putting a large object into a small place will cause more pressure. It backfired fantastically. This man had a foot-long purple fruit inside of his body for 2 days before he sought medical attention. This is apparently an actual Chinese folk remedy for constipation, but it definitely didn't work correctly. I considered showing you the photograph of the aubergine in question, but it made me puke a little when I looked at it, so we're kinda not gonna do that. Come on, dude, really? I know folk remedies generally don't make a lot of sense, but this one just sounds like a straight-up joke. Good one, China. You pulled the wool over our eyes again. An off-duty FBI agent in Colorado did a backflip in a nightclub that was so frickin' sweet, his gun shot someone out of sheer admiration for his mad skills. The agent responded by walking off the floor and shrugging, as if it was okay for his gun to have shot someone in a club. This takes blood on the dance floor to all new levels. Don't worry though, apparently the man who was shot in the leg by this rogue gun is okay. I think that this is actually a long con ploy by the agent to make sure that nobody can dance as well as he can. What is a story that you tell that someone else might tell differently? Why do you think they remember it differently than you do? Sometimes it's interesting to take a look at something from a perspective that is not your own. Today, I want you to tell me a story that someone else would tell differently. Tell me their version of the story and how it would be different from yours. Give the perspective a switch a little bit. I think it would be super interesting to see the differences between how you remember something and how someone who has also been to that thing would remember it. Obviously, this is pure speculation. You can't really read their mind to see exactly how they would remember it. But then, if you could, you'd probably be talking to some government people and not sitting on the YouTubes watching my things. We are coming up close to the end of this little week of Weird Friends. I hope that you had a good time with this project. I certainly did. Tomorrow's will be the last one on this little run, but do you guys think I should do more of them? Should I continue? Maybe I will. Let me know if you guys like them. And as always, my dear friends, let's continue to make the world a little bit more awesome every day, even if it's just for a couple seconds at a time. I will see you next time.